A very warm welcome to the today's session on cardiac cycle. I am Karthik Raman and I will be the guide for the today's lecture. In today's lecture, we will deal about the neurogenic and the myogenic heart, the conduction system of the heart and its components, the cardiac cycle, that is the physiology of the heartbeat, the sounds of the heart, and the cardiac output. So let's begin the discussion with the concept of neurogenic heart. So neurogenic comes from neuron, referring to the nerve cell, and genic comes from genesis, meaning the synthesis or formation. There's a structure in the heart that is going to initiate and maintain the pacing activity of the heart. Such a structure is known as the pacemaker. A heart is said to be a neurogenic heart when the pacemaker is a ganglionic mass of nerve cells. This type of a heart is seen in invertebrates possessing the open type of the circulatory system. Another fact is isolated cease to beat. Reason is the impulses for the pacing activity of the heart are coming from the nerve, and since the heart is isolated from the body, it loses the connection with the nerve system. Therefore, it ceases to stop and cannot qualify for a transplant. Now, coming to the myogenic heart. Myo refers to muscles. So a myogenic heart is made up of the pacemaker, which is in turn made of a special mass of the muscle tissue that is known as the nodal tissue. In the human heart, the myogenic heart, the pacemaker is the sinoatrial node or the SAN. The myogenic heart is found in mollusks and all the vertebrates. Now the components of the conduction system of the heart. Now first one is a sinoatrial node or the SAN. So please look at the pointer on the screen. The sinoatrial node is a specialized mass of the muscle tissue. It is known as the nodal tissue, and it is the SAN which is going to generate impulses, initiate the contraction and relaxation of the heart, and also maintain the pacing activity. Therefore, it is called the natural pacemaker of the heart. And the sinoatrial node is located in the right corner in the wall of the right atrium, very close to the point where the superior vena cava opens. Now the sinoatrial node is going to generate about 70 to 75 action potentials per minute and determine the pacing activity of the heart. The next one is the atrioventricular node, is also abbreviated as AVN. The atrioventricular node is present in the left corner in the wall of the right atrium, closer to the interatrial septum. From the AVN arises a bundle of fibers known as a bundle of His, which will travel up to the atrioventricular septum, and they are going to split into what is known as the bundle branches. And the left bundle branch supplies the musculature of the left ventricle, and the right bundle branch supplies the musculature of the right ventricle. Now these bundle branches are going to give rise to minute fibers known as the Purkinje fibers, and the Purkinje fibers are responsible for delivering the impulses to the entire musculature of the ventricle and bringing about the contraction of the ventricles. So the components of the conduction system in heart is going to involve 5 components: the sinoatrial node or the natural pacemaker, the atrioventricular node abbreviated as AVN, the bundle of His, the bundle branches, and the Purkinje fibers. Now let's deal with what is cardiac cycle. Now, before we begin, let us introduce two terminologies, systole and diastole. So, systole or systole means contraction. So, this refers to contraction of the chambers of the heart. So, when the chambers of the heart is going to contract, it is going to pump the blood out. Diastole or diastole is the relaxation phase in which the chambers of the heart are going to relax, and during this relaxation phase, they are going to receive the blood from various blood vessels or from the previous chamber of the heart. Now, one cardiac cycle is also known as one heartbeat, and it comprises of one systole and one diastole. That is, one contraction and relaxation of the heart sums up the heartbeat. Now, when the heartbeat is sequentially repeated in a cyclic manner, that is known as the cardiac cycle. Now, one cardiac cycle is going to last for about 0.8 seconds or 800 milliseconds. Mind you, it is less than a single second, so it can be that quick. Now, in this figure, we can see three phases of the cardiac cycle. And the first phase is the atrial systole or the contraction of the atria. Second phase is the ventricular systole or the contraction of the ventricles. And the third phase is the complete cardiac diastole, or is also known as the joint cardiac diastole, where all the chambers of the heart are in a relaxed state for a small duration. Now let us dwell deeper about each phase of the cardiac cycle. So atrial systole. So the atrial systole is the first phase of the cardiac cycle. This is the shortest phase, lasting for about 0.1 second. So in the wall of the right atrium, I told you there is a nodal tissue known as a sinoatrial node. It is going to initiate and pace the activities of the heart. Therefore, the natural pacemaker. Now, once it generates the impulse, what is known as the action potential spread throughout the atrial musculature through the nodal fibers. Now, since the impulse is spread throughout the atrial musculature, it brings about the contraction of the atrial chambers or induces what is known as the atrial systole. Now, during the atrial systole, the pressure inside the atria is going to increase. As a result, it is going to force the AV valves to open. AV valves would be the atrioventricular valves, namely the mitral valve or the bicuspid valve and the tricuspid valve. They will be thrown open and the blood is going to flow into the respective ventricles. That is, the deoxygenated blood from the right ventricle flows into the right atrium, flows into the right ventricle through the tricuspid valve, and the oxygenated blood from the left atrium flows into the left ventricle through the bicuspid or the mitral valve. So this is clearly shown in the picture. You can see that the atrioventricular valves are thrown open and the blood is going to enter into the respective ventricles. So that is about the atrial systole. At the completion of the atrial systole, we begin the next phase of the cardiac cycle, that is the ventricular systole. Now the ventricular systole is a second phase in a cardiac cycle. It lasts for about 0.3 seconds. Now you should note that the impulses from the SAN should be propagated to the next nodal tissue, that is the atrioventricular node. The SAN and the AVN are not connected directly by a physical link. Through the internodal fibers, the impulse from the SAN reaches the AVN. So this duration taken by the impulse to reach the AVN ensures that the atria have contracted completely, and this is what is known as the AV node delay. So this is a kind of a adaptation to ensure that the atria complete their systole before beginning of the ventricular systole. Now let us see the power of this impulse or the action potential. So through the nodal fibers, the AVN is activated from the impulses generated through the SAN. Then the AVN sends the impulses through the bundle of His, then through the bundle branches, and finally to the Purkinje fibers. The Purkinje fibers supply the impulse to the entire ventricular musculature and bring about the contraction of the ventricles as shown in the diagram. Now, once the ventricles are contracting, the pressure within the ventricles increases, and this forces the AV valves to close. Now, once the AV valves are closed, it is going to prevent the regurgitation or the backflow of the blood into the respective atria. Now, as the ventricles continue to contract, there is a further build-up or increase in the pressure, and this forces the semilunar valves that is guarding the orifice of the pulmonary artery and the aorta to open. Then the deoxygenated blood from the right ventricle is pumped into the pulmonary artery, which is carried to the lungs for oxygenation. And the left ventricle will pump the oxygenated blood into the aorta, which is the largest artery of the body, for systemic circulation. So this, in short, is the second phase or the ventricular systole. Now the complete cardiac diastole. So the cardiac diastole is the terminal phase or the third phase of the cardiac cycle. It lasts for about 0.4 seconds and is comparatively longer than the ventricular and the atrial systole. This is actually a pause phase in which all the chambers of the heart are going to relax. Now here, both the atria and the ventricles are relaxed. Now as the ventricles relax, the intraventricular pressure or the pressure within the ventricles begin to decrease. Now as they begin to decrease, now the blood that is flowing into the pulmonary artery and the aorta are slowly going to flow back, and this is going to ensure the closure of the semilunar valves guarding the aorta and the pulmonary artery orifice. Now, as the ventricles relax further, the pressure drops drastically, and the ventricular pressure is lesser than the atrial pressure. As a result, the atrioventricular valves are forced open and the blood flows into the respective ventricles, and we enter the next cardiac cycle. So this, in short, is the third step in the cardiac cycle. Now the heart sounds. Now whenever we have visited a doctor, they use an instrument known as a stethoscope, which is placed on the thoracic cavity to listen to the sounds of the heart. The heart produces two sounds. One is the lub sound and the other is the dub sound. Now during the ventricular systole, due to the increase in the intraventricular pressure, it forces the atrioventricular valves to close. The closure of the atrioventricular valves produces the first heart sound, that is known as the lub sound. Now during the joint cardiac diastole, since the intraventricular pressure is less, the blood tries to flow back from the pulmonary artery and the aorta. So this backflow of the blood causes the semilunar valves guarding the orifice of the aorta and pulmonary artery to close down, and the closure of the semilunar valves produces the second heart sound, which is known as a dub sound. This is the thudding sound and has a higher frequency compared to the lub sound. So these are the two sounds which the doctor is going to listen to through an instrument known as the stethoscope, and this is of diagnostic importance. Now the cardiac output. Now I mentioned that the heart rate is the number of times the heart is going to beat in 1 minute. Typically, it ranges to about 72 beats per minute in a normal resting adult. Then there's something known as stroke volume, abbreviated as SV. The stroke volume has a value of 70 ml per beat in a normal resting adult and is defined as the volume of blood pumped by the ventricle per beat. Now the question is, the cardiac output is abbreviated as COP, and is there any relationship between the cardiac output, the heart rate and the stroke volume? So you can define cardiac output as the volume of blood pumped by the ventricle per minute. Now there is a need to establish a mathematical relationship between the three variables COP, SV and HR. So with the help of the mathematical equation, we are able to establish that the product of HR and SV, the resultant is the cardiac output. So in a normal, healthy, resting adult individual, the heart rate is 72 and the stroke volume is 70. When multiplied, the resultant product is 5040, which is approximately 5000 ml per minute, or you can say that the cardiac output is 5 liters per minute. It can be interpreted as the heart pumps 5 liters of blood every minute in the systemic circulation. So this in short completes the lecture on cardiac cycle. I hope it has augmented